Hello, friends, and welcome to Story Time. Today, I told you earlier, we are going to read two stories. And after we read these stories, we're going to do our science experiment. And I think you guys are going to like it. We're going to learn how penguins stay dry in the winter, okay? So let's start by singing our song. A is for apple, apple. B is for ball, ball. C is for cat, cat. D is for dog, dog. Yeah. E is for elephant, elephant. F is for fish. G is for gorilla. H is for hat, hat. Remember to listen to the letter sound. I is for igloo. J is for juice. K is for kangaroo. L is for lion. Remember to make the sound O. M is for monkey. N is for no. Octopus. P is for pig. Q is for question. Question. R is for ring. Ring. S is for sun. Train. Choo-choo. U is for umbrella. V is for van. W is for watch. X is for box. Y is for yellow. Z is for zoo. All right, now hands up. So many things for you to learn about. So many ways. Sing our song. So many things for you to learn about. So many ways to sing our song. Good singing, everybody. Give yourselves a round of applause. All right, we're going to start with this book called The Snowy Nap. Remember to decide how you are going to sit. You may sit like a pretzel. You may sit like a mountain. You may sit like a mermaid. You don't have to tell me, you just show me. Who thinks, oh, sorry, I forgot. Our hands are in our, where do our hands go? In our eyes are on. Our listening ears are on. Our voices are off. If we want to answer a question or we need to say something, what do? Right? Okay. Who thinks they can tell me what this part of my book is? Raise a hand. Mr. Emmanuel. The cover. Good job. Who thinks they can tell me what this part of my book is? Raise a hand. Fanon. Say it loud. The back. Who thinks they can tell me what this part of my book is? Raise a hand. Sanai. What is it? The spine. Thank you. Okay. The title of this book is called The Snowy Nap. You can see on the front there is a hedgehog. Should we find out what happens to the hedgehog? There's also a squirrel and a bird. Can I tell you a secret? Miss Becky is scared of squirrels. They kind of make me a little bit scared and nervous. So if we're ever on a walk outside and I see one, I might get a little nervous and say, "Oh no!" And then you will know that there's a squirrel. Okay, are you ready? All right. Young Hedgie sniffed the chilly wind. Snow is on the way, he thought. I'll just take a last tamble around the farm. He did not want to miss a moment. He could barely keep his eyes open as he walked. The hens noticed at once. Time for Betty bye, they cackled. It won't be long before you have to hibernate, and our coop will be bedazzled by icicles. In a sleepy daze, Hedgie trundled past the pond. The geese honked. Goodbye until spring. We'll think of you as we play slip and slide across the pond ice. It is already starting to freeze. Hedgie came to the sheep shed. Nighty-night, the sheep bade. One of the sheep had seen the hedgehogs on the farm head for their cozy dens year after year as winter arrived. She was also ready to tell Hedgie what he would miss. I'll see the snowman Lisa makes, she said. The billy goat overheard and crunched across the frozen field to add, as usual, you will miss the winter blue time when the sun sets and the snowy farm appears in every shade of blue. The pig watched Hedgie stop for a big yawn. Have a good winter sleep, she oinked. If only I could save a few snowflakes for you. No two of them are just alike. I need eyes on me. Ethu, I need eyes and your body turned toward me, please. When the pony trotted up, Hedgie guessed what he wanted to say. Sleep well, he neighed. If you hear bells in your dreams, it will be me pulling my sleigh. That was the last straw. I don't want to sleep all winter like last year, protested Hedgie. I want to see icicles. I want to see snowmen. I want to see pond ice. I want to hear sleigh bells. Before Hedgie could yawn again, he decided, he's yawning, to turn around and stay up for the winter. The night grew frosty cold. Must stay awake, must stay awake, must stay awake to see winter, Hedgie shivered and his eyes closed. From the farmhouse window, Lisa saw a still shape outside in the cold. Poor little hedgehog is frozen stiff, she cried. She bundled him up and brought him inside. Lisa put Hedgie in a tea cozy and gave him a spot by the window. That was a close call, she said. A snowstorm is on the way. You'd better stay in the house and warm up. To Hedgie's delight the next morning, he saw the world outside shimmering with snow. The old chicken coop sparkled like a palace. Every day he watched from different windows, and new wintry scenes appeared. The pond froze into a shiny mirror. Lisa twirled in her skates as the geese and gander slid to keep up. To Hedgie's amazement, one day Lisa rolled great balls of snow. Before he knew it, he was looking at his first snowman. He was getting sleepier, but each morning held a new surprise. The little hedgehog was dozing when he heard the tinkling of bells. He tried with all his might and opened his eyes. Then, there was a pony pulling a sleigh. Lisa made a snowball and tossed it in his direction. Kapoof! Hedgie slept later every day. One day he woke to see the flowers of frost decorating his window. The trees looked like lace against the sky. I have truly seen winter, was Hedgie's last thought as he nodded back to sleep. Lisa knew it was time. Leaving the door ajar, she cradled the little hedgehog. You belong in the wild, she whispered in his ear as she carried him through the drifts. She crunched by his burrow and nestled him inside. Sweet dreams, little adventurer, she said. Just then she noticed the front door was swinging on its hinges. Squawks and rambles were coming from inside. Lisa peered through the doorway and saw animals higgledy-piggledy making a commotion throughout her house. Each one was thinking, I'll see winter from a nice warm house. Out! 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 She cried. Skedaddle! She laughed. Don't you know this is not where you live? Lisa was shooing the last mouse from the house as Hedgie, snug in his burrow, fell into a deep sleep. He was dreaming about icicles and snowmen, snowflakes and pond ice. It was a long, snowy nap. Is that fun? He didn't belong inside. He belonged outside with all the other animals. All right, are you ready for this one?
What's this one?
This one is about a hedgehog too. And it's about his hat. Are you ready? The cold wind woke little hedgehog from his deep winter sleep. It blew his blanket of leaves high into the air, and he shivered in the snow. He tried to sleep again, but he was much too cold. Suddenly, something fell from the sky. Thud! It landed right in front of his nose. It was a present, and it had his name on it. To Little Hedgehog, with love, from Father Christmas. Little Hedgehog opened the present as fast as he could. Inside was a red woolly hat, hedgehog size. He put it on at once. He pulled it to the back. He pulled it to the front. He pulled it to one side and then to the other. But it didn't matter how he stretched it to fit. His prickles got in the way every time. But now the hat was much too big for Little Hedgehog. He took it off and stared at it. At last he had an idea. He gave the hat a shake and he wrapped it up again. He ripped a piece of the label and wrote on the rest. Then he ran to Rabbit's house. Rabbit was out, so he left the present on his doorstep. It was snowing hard as Little Hedgehog tried to find his way back home. The snowflakes flew all around, and he wasn't sure which way to go. Oh dear, he said as he wandered to and fro. I shouldn't have come out in this weather, but I know Rabbit will be happy to have a nice woolly hat to wear. Too much snow, said Rabbit, rushing home. He saw the present lying on his doorstep. What's this? He squeaked with delight, ripping off the paper. A woolly hat, he cried, for me. He put it on at once. He tried, with his ears inside and then outside. He pulled it this way and he pulled it that way. But it didn't matter how much he stretched it to fit. His ears got in the way every time. By now the hat was much bigger. It was much too big for a rabbit. So Rabbit wrapped up the hat once again and wrote on the corner of the label. Then he went to visit Badger. The cold weather made Badger very grumpy. Merry Christmas, Badger, shouted Rabbit. They celebrate Christmas, right? Who's there? Growled Badger. I have a present for you, repeated Rabbit, giving him the present. A present? Said Badger. For me? Badger put the hat on. He pulled it down over his ears. How about that? He said, looking in the mirror. Very nice, said Rabbit. What do you say, said Badger. Very nice, yelled Rabbit, hopping off. Don't you like it? Asked Badger, turning around. But Rabbit had gone. Badger took the hat off. I can use this hat, he said. I can't use this hat, he said. I can't hear a thing. Too bad it's such a nice color. So Badger wrapped up the present and marched off to Fox's house. He didn't use a label. Fox was going out exploring. Here you are, friend, said Badger merrily. A present, just for you. A present, snapped Fox, puzzled. Yes, a present, called Badger. Time to be nice to each other. And he trudged home. A hat, sneered Fox, opening the present. Why would I want a hat? Then he looked at the hat again. He made 2 holes for the ears, and he put it on, satisfied, and away he went. The white fields twinkled in the moonlight. Fox sniffed around and found a snail trail. He followed it this way and that way until suddenly it stopped. There was something under the snow. What do you think's under the snow? Fox dug and dug until he found a small hedgehog. It was cold and did not move. Poor little guy, said Fox. He put the hedgehog inside the red woolly hat and carried it to Rabbit's house. Rabbit and Badger were having supper. Look what I found in the snow, cried Fox, bursting in. They all looked into the hat. A hedgehog, said Badger. What's a hedgehog doing out at this time of year? He should be fast asleep. It's my friend Little Hedgehog, said Rabbit. He must have gotten lost going home in the snow. Little Hedgehog opened his eyes. Hello, he said sleepily. Oh, this is such a warm blanket. The friends all looked at each other. Rabbit grinned and Fox scratched his head. Said Badger. I think this woolly hat is just right for Little Hedgehog. Little Hedgehog, they all cried. Little Hedgehog. But he was already fast asleep. The end. And there's the snowy night. And you can see the stars. Can you see one of the stars is shooting?
Yeah.
Right.
Look in the video.
Let's sing goodbye to our friends. For two great stories about hedgehogs.
Actually, the video.
It was a meteor. Let's sing goodbye to our friends, and then we will go and do our science experiment, and they can join us, okay? So long, farewell to you, my friends. Goodbye for now, until we meet again. I said so long, farewell to you, my friends. Goodbye for now, until we meet again. I said goodbye for now, until we meet again.